Good morning. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. Happy 4th of July. Hope everyone had a great holiday. Jared, I am back from vacation after like 10 days off. It's been amazing. I'm refreshed and I'm ready to win people some money. How are you? How was your 2 days off? How was vacation?
Oh, it was lovely. It was really good. We didn't have shows the last 2 days. I missed you terribly last week. Alex and Mark did a phenomenal job, of course. But I of course missed the Ice Queen herself, and I'm a little disappointed that you missed out on the Avalanche fun. I want to hear about your 5 a.m. Watching the Avs lift the cup. We didn't get a chance to go over this, but my goodness gracious, you must have had a wild ride across the pond watching that.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for a few days. The amount of messages that I got that said, "Oh, aren't you so sad that you didn't wait another year?" And I'm like,
no, that's how it was meant to be. Yeah. It was meant to unfold that way.
That's how I said.
I was disappointed that you didn't get to experience it in the States, but you got to experience it in your own way.
Yeah. I got to experience my own way, and it was awesome, and I did a great hike the next day, and I wore my Habs hat, and it was amazing. It was just really cool to watch them lift the cup and be able to have that experience. If I was in town, I would have flown back to Denver and obviously done the parade and like been at some of the parties, but it's okay. I got to watch
and our Cale Makar Conn Smythe ticket was a wild success.
Cash that in. Love that for you. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
But I'm really excited for the Avs. Congratulations to them. I know obviously I wasn't on the show the last week, so I didn't get to congratulate them publicly. But congratulations, really excited for them. They deserve it. They've worked their butts off the last 4 years to be able to get to this spot. Joe Sakic made the right moves to be able to get the team to where they are. So I'm so excited that they were actually able to get it done. They were deserving. They're the best team in the world, rightly so. And we were able to see that in the Stanley Cup final against, in my opinion, the second best team in the world. It was exciting to see. Honestly, some of those games could have gone either way. Like truly, 2 overtime games, absolutely. 2 other games that were only decided by a goal. Like they could have truly gone either way. And so it was really exciting to see them win. We move on to next season now, and we'll see what sort of off-season moves, all of the UFAs, the RFAs, the moves that are made in the NHL, in the NBA, which, speaking of the NBA, we got a lot of moves. We're going to get into that. We also have Wimbledon with our friend Alex Gruskin, so that's going to be exciting to talk to him about Wimbledon because we're watching Djokovic play right now. I don't know why I just
not playing that well.
But thank you. And he is I have it on in the TV in there. He is losing. He lost the first set. He's losing the second set right now. Then we have our Bettor Up segment, obviously talking about a little MLB action the day after Independence Day. And then we can't end without our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. Let's get into it. NBA moves. So first of all, obviously I wasn't on the show last week, but the Hawks made quite a few substantial moves for the team. One of them is trading for DeJounte Murray. And then they also traded away Kevin Huerter. So I think the Hawks get an A+ with the Murray trade. This is going to be one of the best young backcourts in the NBA between him and Trey. I'm really excited to see how they play together. He led the league last season in steals. He's a great perimeter defender, which I think he could make up for some of Trey's lack of defending in that area. And that's one of the things that Travis Schlenk, the Hawks GM, wanted to improve on was defense, because that's where the team has fallen short the last couple of seasons. They can score a lot of points, but when it comes to their defensive side, how are they stopping the ball? I think that this guy's going to be a great perimeter defender for the team. And also, I think that, they got an all-star on the rise with Kevin Huerter. he makes the Kings better. That's for sure. I know the Hawks get Justin Holiday, Mo Harkless, and they're both good defensive players. Like they're not players that are going to blow you away, but they're solid. They're reliable. I think they can be good on the defensive side of things. I don't know. What are your thoughts about just all of the trades and the moves that the Hawks have been making? Because it's one of the most significant teams that's been making the most significant moves so far this offseason.
Yeah, you go away for a week and your team's just
all hell breaks loose, Jared.
It all goes crazy. So first of all, the NBA, and it's funny because I tweeted this out last week and our buddy Jim Monis chimed in and disagreed with me, but I said, who needs reality TV when you have the NBA? Besides Jim, and Jim, I know that you're a big reality TV fan, but it's been a remarkable week. I don't recall it being this frantic. I know recency bias tends to gravitate towards the recent, but with the KD and the Kyrie stuff, and then you mentioned.
Wait, just time out really quick. That just hit me. You go recency bias tends to favor the recent. I'm like, well, yeah, that's why it's called recency.
Duh, Jared. Jeez.
Keep going.
It feels like a Monday, even though it's not a Monday, but it feels like a Monday.
But it is technically a Monday because yesterday was technically a Sunday.
Technically Sunday, but we had a 3-day weekend, but we didn't work. I don't know what day it is. It doesn't matter. Listen, the Hawks got better, period, end of story. And there were a lot of people in this town here in New York that were very disappointed that the Knicks didn't make a move for Mr. Murray. So I think that is an immediate upgrade. And I know you were close with Kevin, and I'm sure you guys have exchanged messages. I'm sure he tweeted out something really funny, like, oh, this is my welcome to the NBA moment.
But yeah, this is my welcome to the NBA moment. Yeah.
Sacramento, which I think that's the other side of it. But I don't think there's a world where the Hawks did not get immensely better after that trade. And so, it's not a knock on Kevin. I just think that's how good of a player Devontae is. But
I mean, they needed to improve on defense, and they did. 100%. I mean, even with Justin Holiday and Mo Harkless, they're not going to blow you away, but they're good defensive players. They can switch on quite a few different position players. They can recover on shooters. I think that defensively the Hawks got a lot better between those two guys. Absolutely. And obviously DeJounte Murray, he's an all-star on the rise. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do next season. Another thing, Jared, that I thought was interesting was obviously Zion Williamson and Pelicans agree on a 5-year designated maximum rookie extension worth $193 million. I think that can go up to $231 million. He missed all of last season, but this guy is a special freaking talent. His rookie season, I think he was averaging 22 points per game in the last 20 games of the season. He was averaging 30 points per game. He shot 57% from the field on average. That's pretty good last time I checked. And I don't know, he's only played 85 games so far in his career in 3 years, but I cannot wait to see him when he is completely healthy and at the top of his game.
And Ingram, McCollum, I don't know what McCollum's situation is. I think he's still under contract next year. I don't think he's a free agent for another year. So that's an interesting lineup. Valanciunas in the middle. Zion doesn't have to play the 5. I mean, he plays the 4.
Yeah.
He is a guy that I think probably isn't suited for a 5, but we just saw the Warriors win a title without a true center. So I don't think there's a position on the floor that will suit Zion if he can work on that at the outside shot. That's the part about his game that needs to be, improved. But there's a lot of good players on this Pelicans team, and they were a team that was very under the radar last season. Still figured out a way to, slip themselves into the play-in game. Didn't really do much from there. But I think when you look at this New Orleans team, I would be very, very bullish on their, moving up in the standings from their 8th position last year. I'd be willing to bet that if we get a full season of Zion, they will finish higher than 8th in the Western Conference standings next year.
Yeah. And then you look at Cleveland, Darius Garland, who he's a phenomenal player too. They also agree on a rookie designated maximum extension that could become worth $231 million. That's the richest deal, Jared, in Cleveland Cavaliers history. I think it shows their belief in the future of this guy. And for me, just watching him play throughout the season, and I feel like the Hawks played them a lot because we played the Cavs twice in preseason and then 4 times during the regular season and then again for a play-in game. There was just a lot of times that I was able to watch Darius Garland front and center. For me, his confidence grew last season, and I feel like that was the biggest thing for him that he needed to grow upon, because his game is there. His confidence just needed to be there. And I feel like also Kevin Love was a really big part of that too, just being the veteran presence, kind of telling him what he's doing wrong, what he's doing right, being that, friend, mentor for him on the court and off the court as well. But Rich's deal in Cavs history, it's well worth it.
Surprising that LeBron didn't make more, but I guess the length of the deal is the big difference. Listen, I mean, this is a guy that was a top 5 pick very recently. I mean, this is a guy that was expected to be the guy, and he has delivered. And anytime you make that delivery, all of a sudden you get that max rookie extension. I don't know. You said it much better than me. The Cavs were a good team last
Rookie designated maximum extension.
I don't know. That's a mouthful and a half. Kudos to you for having to say it. And when we were going over it this morning, I was like, I have no idea what that is, but I believe that it exists. Listen, Cleveland is a team that I think is, again, the Eastern Conference. There's a set tier system, and like New Orleans, they're not in that top tier of the West. Cleveland's not in that top tier of the East, but they were 9th last year in the East, and that's a team I would, again, improvement. I think if they go from 9th to 7th or, 9th to 6th, that is the direction that you want to see this Cleveland team go, especially when you give Garland a lot of money. And again, we'll see what happens with these deals in a year or two, but, I mean, he's a really good player, and he had a really good year last year.
The one that everyone's looking at before we bring in Alex Gruskin, and the one that everyone's looking at, the one that people are betting on, is days after Kyrie Irving agrees to stay on the Nets, he makes more money, blah, 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 blah. KD decides that, nope, I'm going to peace out. I want to go somewhere else. Let's see what happens. His next team odd shift. The Raptors moved to 2nd right now, plus 250. There's 5 teams on my mind that I think that he could go to. Lakers, I wrote them down. Lakers, Suns, pure title hunt for the Suns, that would be. Clippers, KD and Kawhi. Has a nice ring to it. Raptors, KD and the Kid. That also has a nice ring to it. And the Heat, which, watch out, Boston, if that happens. You know what I mean? I think my 2 favorites right now, though, are the Raptors and the Suns. But the Suns would be a pure title hunt. I don't know. What are your thoughts on where he's going to end up? Because people are betting on it right now. No one knows where he's going to end up. But it all depends on, they're asking for a lot. They're asking for 3 first-round draft picks and an all-star in exchange for KD. They're asking for a lot.
They're asking for the world. They're asking for the world, and they deserve – I mean, I don't know if they deserve the world, but I think they have to ask for the world. By the way, can we – I'm so impressed. Take 10 days off, come back on the show, bring in heat, ads, talks, NBA, hot takes. No rest for the weary. LJ,
hashtag no rest for the weary. This is actually so funny because I was talking about this with my friends, and they're like, yeah, what TV shows have you watched recently? And like, oh, you have to watch this show. You have to watch this show. I'm like, I need to branch out more and watch things other than sports because I'm like my mind.
Stranger Things was unbelievable, but then again,
I know. I actually did watch Stranger Things. All of my friends on the 3rd, we all sat in my parents' basement here because everyone comes over. They live on a lake. So we all sat in my parents' basement and watched season 4 or a couple episodes of Stranger Things. And I've seen seasons 1 and 2. I kind of didn't really get into 3, and then 4 I'm just completely out on. But I was like, maybe I need to get back into this because it's kind of nice to let your mind just go and not think for a second.
It is. Stranger Things is strange and it is scary.
It's strange.
Honestly. It is the soundtrack, everything. You know what else is scary? The Nets roster, what it's going to look like next year. It's going to be Stranger Things season 5. I mean, I don't know. They just signed TJ Warren this morning to a 1-year deal that just has salary dump written all over it. And I don't really know if I'm Sean Marks. I just don't know where to turn here because every person, do you really want to trade him in the Eastern Conference? That just makes your path to getting to the finals nearly impossible for the next 5 years. So then you want to trade him out west. If you trade him inside the division, you have to face him 5 times next year. It just, I don't know. So the Suns seem to be the perfect landing spot. The Lakers and the Clippers.
If the Suns get him, they're winning the NBA title next year. Market right now. July 5th, 2022.
With Harden and Kyrie and KD too, and they didn't even make it out of the first round. So I don't know. I don't know what the best option is here. And I'm glad I'm not the Nets GM. I'm glad I don't have to pull the trigger on this because I feel like no matter which team they trade him to, they're not going to get the best return because of the Nets really don't need to trade him. That's the part about this that's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And
I know.
I have no idea. Let's just leave it at this. There's no chance I'm betting on this, period, end of story. We can speculate on it till we're blue in the face.
Everyone's betting on it, though, Jared.
That doesn't mean we have to, though.
I know. That's true. Okay, so I want to get into Wimbledon. Obviously, we're going to have more NBA talk offseason. More trades are going to happen. Wimbledon's going on right now. Novak is playing right now, and he is currently losing. He lost the first set. He's losing in the second set. Let's bring in our friend Alex Gruskin, editor-in-chief of Cracked Racquets. It is the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. We have a couple guys matches going on today, a couple women's matches going on today. It's going to be exciting to see the quarterfinals today and tomorrow. Alex, how are you? Happy Tuesday.
It is
happy Tuesday to you both. Thank you for having me. I think anyone who watches 11 straight days of tennis starting at 6 a.m., you're just not going to open your eyes properly for the next 2 months. And so other than that, I'm doing extraordinarily well. And yeah, it's been an exciting morning, certainly with the top seed.
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting. Obviously, I want to talk about your biggest surprise of Wimbledon so far. For me, it was, seeing Serena get knocked out. But before we do, just your betting approach heading into Wimbledon. Do you bet more, match by match? Do you bet more futures of the winner of the entire, of Wimbledon in general? Like how do you approach some of these bets that you're making throughout the process here?
Well, the tennis scoring system, always fun, 15, 30, 40 love. I like to spread the love when it comes to our different betting strategies according to tennis, whether it be, tennis is a sport, very straightforward. There's a ranking system. The number one player is playing the number 25 player. Typically, the number one player is going to come out on top in that instance. And so because it's a one-on-one sport, because you don't have to worry about the health of your right tackle or, a bruised thigh for your center, you're pretty straightforward in knowing who is going to win each and every match. That said, tennis being the active sport, the matchup-centric sport that it is, it's very much a live betting sport. And one strategy I like to employ is if there is an underdog you like on the day, someone in that plus 130 to even higher range, you'll bet on that person's money line to start the match and then pray like hell that they get off to a quick start. Because when they do, if they go up a set to love, as Jannik Sinner leading Novak Djokovic right now, well, all of a sudden Novak Djokovic is a plus 155 live odds underdog. And you're telling me I can get plus odds on Novak Djokovic? I think a lot of people would put an unhealthy amount of money on that sort of wager. Certainly the stats suggest as much. And so I do think tennis, live betting, watching the matches, it helps to love tennis, but I think that's the safest and best way to go.
Yeah, I don't know. Djokovic right now down 2 sets to love. And I would say dire straits, frankly. Up 1-0 in the third, though, and this is one thing I love about Wimbledon. It's on as we're doing the show. Not a lot of sports we can do live in-game action. Would you put a little nickel or 2 nickels or maybe a little bit more on Djokovic? I'm seeing plus 140, down 2 sets to love. What do you think? Are we betting Djokovic live right now?
Not the house, but maybe a leased car. Like I put the leased car on the line because I'm returning that eventually anyways. And yeah, I would go 2021 French Open quarterfinals. He played Lorenzo Musetti, who also Italian, around 20 years old at the time. Musetti takes a 2 sets to love lead on Novak Djokovic, but Novak Djokovic is Novak freaking Djokovic. The guy was gluten-free before it was a thing. He has been in this situation countless times before. Yes, I think when you have Novak Djokovic at plus odds, you have to take it.
Yeah, all right. I agree with you on that one. Who's been your biggest surprise so far of Wimbledon? Was it Serena losing to Harmony Tan? Because watching her, she had nothing left in the tank.
No, that was a shocker, especially because there were times when, it just felt like the entire match was on Serena's racket. And when she took an early break lead in the third set, you're like, all right, here comes Serena, who, in my opinion, is on the Mount Rushmore. It's like her, in my lifetime, her, LeBron, like Djokovic, maybe Nadal in terms of longevity. But, yeah, it was a stark reminder that it's just tough to be 40 in life, period. Like once you're 40 years old, it's not going to fire the way it once does. That said, biggest shock has to be the women's side. Just in general, you had top seed Iga Swiatek, who had won 35 consecutive matches coming into this tournament. That's the longest win streak of the decade, or of the century, excuse me. Decade underrated, but century properly rated. She, was a junior Wimbledon champion, but, loses a straight set match to Alizé Cornet and didn't play particularly well in it. And I think outside of Iga Swiatek, it's like, well, who could win this tournament on the women's side if it's not her? And we're going to get to find out, which is a fun thing for tennis fans, but certainly probably the most unexpected storyline, unless Djokovic loses today. Then that quickly goes up to number one.
Yeah, biggest surprise would change very quickly if Mr. Sinner pulls off this deadly sin here and upsetting Novak. But again, it's deuce right now in game 2. Sorry, the puns are endless with tennis, first of all.
Yeah. It's so bad. So bad.
Especially with
the tell me.
I'm terrible with it.
I have a cracked racket on my hat here. Yeah, I've sold out
I thought I was
to
the
big
corner
tennis.
on the show. You have taken the mantle from me during this segment. I appreciate that. All right, speaking of the ladies' side, very big match coming up later. And we actually have a future on I apologize if I mispronounce her name, Ons Jabeur. One of the best players, I would say right now, the best player left in the field. She's the favorite. Simona Halep kind of, right there in the odds with Jabeur. But she's very heavily favored today. If you had to pick one of these ladies, I mean, I'm guessing it'd be one of the two, Halep or Jabeur would be your title winner on the ladies' side. Who would you pick right now?
Well, I have the stats up for both of them. I'm glad you asked. And I thought the pronunciation was excellent for the record. I go with a harder owns my
He's used to saying my last name in Jabara, so he's used to saying
it is. It's the Tunisian version of Lauren's last name. Jabara. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's a fair comp. And I'll sneak this in now. Shout out to Corey Jabara, my former high school classmate. Country Day, class of 2013. Yeah, fun
Country Day,
for
baby.
All of you there.
Yeah,
Wait,
is that my brother? Is he related to you? That's your brother?
Yeah, it's
oh my
right.
God,
That's your younger brother. So
a reunion on the show today.
No, I saw the tweet come out, and I was like, why do I know a Lauren Jabara? I was like, oh, because that's Corey's sister. But anyways, all of that said. If Corey's the favorite to win the Wimbledon, I would say, yes, second and third favorites, probably Jabeur and Halep. And, when you look at their numbers, not only here in 2022, but since tennis play resumed in August 2020 during this pandemic, and it's really just been one 22-month sprint in professional tennis, the numbers are really similar. Like both of them have won 79% of their matches this season. Both of them have won over 70% of their matches since August 2020. You look for Ons Jabeur, she's won 9 straight grass court matches this season, 50-15 for her career on grass courts. She's one of 7 players this season to rank top 20 in both hold and break percentage. Hold percentage, how frequently you're holding serve. Break percentage, how frequently you're breaking your opponent's serve. Those are the 2 things you have to do in tennis, and she's one of the 7 best players in the world at it. The difference I see between them is Simona Halep, similar win percentages. She's one of just 2 players to rank top 10 in both hold and break percentage. And if you've watched this 2022 Wimbledon, there's just a degree of physicality Simona Halep's able to play with. It's, LeBron-esque. It's Djokovic in his prime-esque, and it's no one else can match it on this surface. And unless you have elite weapons, a big first serve, or some way to win free points against Simona Halep, she's just wearing you down right now. And so, Halep's won 11 straight matches at Wimbledon. She was the 2019 champion, didn't play last season, but has carried that momentum so well into this year's event. I would lean Halep ever so slightly, simply because I think from a matchup perspective, that would be a good matchup for her. But the draw is tougher for Halep. I mean, there are no seeds left in Jabeur's half of the draw. Simona Halep's got 2 power players in Amanda Anisimova and Elena Rybakina. I'm not going to swear, but on our Cracked Racquets podcast, which you can all find on crackedrackets.com, we call it the FS Up crew, which is 2 expletives and up the draw. When they're playing their best, they can FS up. Yeah, and so
like it's a bracket busters.
Yeah, bracket busters is the politically correct term. There we go. The bracket buster crew. And Halep still got 2 of them left in her section. So I'd go Halep, but only by the slightest of margins.
Would you take Halep to win the whole thing? Like lastly, before we let you go, I just want to know, like, broad picture. Men's singles Wimbledon, women's singles Wimbledon. Who's winning? Both.
The fans? It's going to be a great time. We're all winners.
You can get Djokovic right now at 2-1 if you want to bet live futures.
Yeah,
to win
I would place a live bet on Djokovic. I mean, he was such a prohibitive favorite, -250 to win the tournament coming into today. If he loses, I think you have to pick Nadal by default, just because Nadal hasn't lost at a slam this season. Those are 2 bets you make on the men's side.
Now too.
Yeah, and I think on the women's side, if you look at the futures, I think it's plus money on both Jabeur and Halep to win the tournament. Yeah, Halep plus 175.
They're almost dead even in the odds. There's really no difference right now.
I have spent $20 way worse than betting on both of them. So I would just take that $20 and no Chipotle for Alex today, but he's going to bet on Halep and Jabeur.
But you get a match up in the final, and then you automatically, you don't even have to worry about the final day.
Yeah, that's true.
A very good strategy. Very good.
Yeah, and so spread the love. Full circle here. We're spreading the love with the bets.
I love it. Alex Gruskin, editor-in-chief of Cracked Racquets. Make sure to listen to his podcast. He's trying to FS up throughout Wimbledon. I love it.
Djokovic is FSing everything up right now.
Yeah, Yeah, I know. Novak is FSing everybody up right now.
Exactly. No, I appreciate you guys having me. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, please send my love to Corey. Tell him I say hello.
I will. I'll let him know you say hi. He's flying in. I'm in Michigan right now, and he's flying into Michigan, so I'll see him later today. So I'll let him know you say what's up.
I appreciate it. Yes, thank you for having me.
Good little country day reunion. I love it.
Exactly.
Great. Thanks so much, Alex. Appreciate it. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, such a small world.
Was
seriously,
really
such a small world.
I was like, where is it going with this?
No, because Corey's my brother. He's 2 years younger than me, and they both went to high school together. So super funny, small world. Okay. Bettor Up. That's hilarious. Okay, let's get into our MLB segment because there's quite a few games today. Some series starting, some series continuing after the first game was yesterday. Yerfies and Nerfies this weekend were FS and everybody up again. It was a roller coaster weekend for Yerfies and Nerfie bettors. Saturday, yes run first inning went 13-4. Sunday, no runs first inning went 10-5. And then Monday, yesterday, Nerfies went 9-6. The Yerfies still leads 607 to 594, which is just over 50%. It's 50.5%. But no team right now, Jared, has a current yes run first inning or no run first inning streak higher than 4. Toronto has 4 straight Yerfies, and that's about it. It's pretty crazy. Are you on any Yerfies and Nerfies heading into tonight?
I am. It is officially, so to me, July 4th is the check mark for the dog days of summer. Like, we have this big holiday and everyone celebrates and everyone's all excited. And then we really get into the lull of July, the doldrums of the summer months.
Oh, God, it's depressing.
You love that word. It's fun to say it. Hey, doldrums.
Basically, the July 4th is the peak of the year and it's all downhill from here. Okay.
No, because we were joking about it's going to be a rough summer with not a lot of sports going on doing the show. Yeah. I was like, well, don't worry. The NBA and the NFL take care of that. But in terms of actual game live action, yes, we are in the doldrums now. But I've really started to develop as we've discussed, I've developed a nice rhythm with these Yerfies and Nerfies. I do a sheet every day. I try to find the best value on the board because it's not necessarily about the teams or the pitchers as much as it is about the prices. And now that we've had a full, basically, over 1,000 games this season to really churn out, all right, this team, this odds, this and that. So I do see one edge on my board today that I really like.
Let's hear it.
Betting it. I already bet it. And it's the Nerfie at Fenway Park between the Rays and the Red Sox. Plus 105. Jeffrey Springs, Nick Pivetta. You'll hear a little bit more about Nick Pivetta in a second. But these guys have a combined 23-3 record to the Nerfie this season. And when you think about Boston at home, Fenway Park, high-scoring offense, not so fast, my friend. They actually have a well below average scoring rate in the first inning at home this season at 24%. Tampa Bay, 26% on the road. So both offenses below average in their respective venues. And I have Jeffrey Springs, who's been fantastic, and Nick Pivetta, who has been equally good at their NRFI records this season. And I'm getting plus money on this NRFI because, again, I think the perception, the total, the game total being higher, Fenway Park, offense, hitters park. In this instance, I think we're getting some solid plus money on the nose side. So that's where I'm going. That's my only run first inning bet of the day. One thing you'll notice in the second half for me, we're up this season in baseball, the volume of plays will start to decrease.
Yeah.
I'm usually 3, 4, 5 a day. Now you're going to see 1, 2, 3 per day. And I think that's a healthy amount as we protect some of those gains and, try to outfox what is now an efficient market in the second half.
Speaking of being up, the walk props have saved your betting career this season in Major League Baseball. I know you have a futures column that is dropping, and you also have a walk this way parlay going on today. Tell me about your futures column, then we'll get into your parlay.
Yeah, so this is part 2 of our midseason report card. Last week we dropped division league markets. I added a 10-1 future on a parlay between 2 pennant winners and a division parlay that's about 2-1. So I feel really strongly about the futures market, as you know, and the baseball season, it's a little different. In the NFL, it's like every week, Monday, overreaction, where are the market moving? In baseball, the moves are spaced out longer. Like we're only halfway through the season now, but we've already seen like insane moves that we can hopefully catch on the right side of. So read about the futures column. I do have a play in the futures column, a 4-1 bet that everyone should read about and bet this week.
Love
the parlay
that.
and the walk props in general, LJ. I mean, it has revitalized not only this show, your pipes, your singing voice, but
that's true.
My gambling season has been just completely recharged. I mean, I'm having this is a new market for me. I've never bet a walk prop until this season, but maybe it's a short sample size and maybe it's recency bias, but I really feel like we're onto something here. So walk this way parlay. Nothing too different here. Over 1.5 on all 3 of these guys. Nick Pivetta, almost a 70% hit rate this year. Michael Kopech, over a 70% hit rate on the season. Both guys are on the road today. Both guys are at home today, and both guys walk more batters at home than they do on the road, which is maybe a little bit surprising, but that's the way it is. And then finally, Kyle Hendricks, he's on the road today. Just a 40% hit rate for Hendricks, which is, you're like, why are you putting him in this parlay? Well, it's the opponent for Hendricks facing the Brewers. 10 of the last 13 righties have gone over 1.5 walks against the Brewers. So that's the parlay, plus 327. How about this? I have almost a 40.
Love that for us.
ROI. Love it. Over a 40% ROI on the parlays in a month of betting them, and that's a pretty long time to be betting them to have that.
Let's go.
ROI. So let's keep it rolling today.
Awesome.
It really is, and I'll give you one more trend before you get to your picks. The Angels have a 30% strikeout rate over the last 30 days. I think 14 days too. Sandy Alcantara has been a guy that I don't know what's going on with the strikeout rate this year, but it's lower than expected. But I think that might increase in the second half. And you got to fade this Angels lineup anytime you're facing a good strikeout pitcher. So I'd look at Alcantara. I'm not betting it, but I would take a hard look at Alcantara's strikeout prop today.
Yeah, I like it. I've also been loving the strikeout props. I don't have any today. I have a money line bet and then obviously a total bet for my best bet of the day. We'll get into that in a second. But first of all, just looking at my money line bet, I'm looking at the Cubs. They're taking on the Brewers. I like the Cubs money line actually at plus 114. And I know the Brewers are really good. Obviously, the Cubs are 14 games back right now of the NL Central Division. Brewers rotation though, they just have been decimated, absolutely hammered with injuries, and they've been digging extremely deep to be able to fill their pitching staff. So they call in a guy, Jason Alexander, who has struggled this season. I mean, he has a 1.4% strikeout to walk ratio right now, 5.31 skill interactive ERA, which isn't very good. I know you look at his regular ERA, it's 3.82, but that's because of his 6.5% home run to fly bat rate and his 73.7% left on base rate. His ERA is going to regress. There's no way that can sustain for the rest of the season. Now you look at the Cubs and Brewers. They're both tied right now in WRC plus at 103. This, for me, comes down to pitching. Kyle Hendricks has been okay this season, but he has a 3.22 SIERA and a 23.7 strikeout to walk ratio in his last 4 starts. At the end of the day, Chicago, for me, has the pitching advantage, and they have the 4th best bullpen in SIERA throughout the season. I know they're an underdog, but I love being able to get plus money here, and they're going to be flying the W for at least one day at the end of the game today. And I'm going to be making some money with my plus money line at plus 114. Okay? That's where I'm going today. So Cubs flying the W at the end of the day today. You'll love to see it.
Oh.
Before we get into our best bets of the day, Jared, let's go to Pickswise.com.
Yeah.
3-star play of the day. Please tell me who we got.
Slim Pickens. I'll do a refresh right now, see if anything's been updated. Yeah, no, it's one of those mornings. Nothing really popping in the 3-star markets today. I will say this: Djokovic just broke Sinner in set 3, and I think he's going to win the 3rd set. So yeah. I think we're gonna. And listen, we might have had our buddy, our buddy Alex on the show Alex on the show, right at the moment to buy Joker. Even the dog is excited about Novak right now.
Who let the dogs out?
Howling in his cage right now. He's not happy. He's in the keys. He's been crate training the last few days. He's not happy about that.
It's okay. We'll do our best bets of the day, and then he can let him out of the cage. Okay. Okay. Your best bet of the day, obviously, like we'd expect anything else from you. It's a walk prop.
Has to be a walk prop. I'm having an unbelievable run betting walk.
Yeah.
He's like howling right now. I've never heard him make that noise. He was good during the fireworks last night. I was worried that he was going to get all sad and mopey on me, but he did a good job. 32-20 over on walk props this year. So, I mean, that's over 60%. Now I'm 0-2 betting the under. So moral of the story is don't bet the under on walk props, I guess. But 32-20 betting the over on walk props this year. Again, it's basically all of the money I've made in baseball season all can be explained by walk props. He is. I don't even know what noises
There's some
he's
stuff
on
going on in your background right now. I don't even know.
Those are some absurd noise. I think he's hungry. I don't know. I'll pay him in a sec. I'll feed him in a second. All right, Logan Gilbert. JP, relax, bud. Give me 5 minutes. Daddy's got to work. Logan Gilbert over 1.5 walks. I'm laying 5 cents over at DraftKings. So just a 50% hit rate on the year and only 38% if you include all of last season. He's made 40 starts in the big leagues this year and last year in his second season. Only 15 of them gone over. But he's never had a stretch like this where he stayed under in 6 consecutive starts. So, again, when I see these props and I see the hit rates and I see the sample size get wide, they do tend to be pretty consistent. So when I see a guy that's gone under in multiple starts, 6, 7, 8, 9 starts in a row, and his hit rate's around 50%, you're going to get an over in there at some point. It's going to happen. That's what the trend says. Mm-hmm. Now we look at – so there's that. Now let's look at the lineup he's facing today. He's on the road. He's at the Padres. This is a Padres lineup. Unbelievable against righties. 16 of the last 23 right-handed starters have gone over 1.5 walks against this Padres lineup. That's basically all of June and July. Now let's look at the full season at Petco Park. 18 of 25 right-handed starters at Petco Park this season, again, the road starter at the Padres, have gone over 1.5. And then you look at the home road splits. So Gilbert in the whole is not a high walks per 9 guy, but on the road, 3.0 walks per 9, at home 1.5, more than double what his home compared to road walks per 9 splits are. So I love this spot today, laying just 5 cents. Logan Gilbert over 1.5 walks over at DraftKings.
Love it. He loves his overwalk props, people. He's giving them more. Give the people what they want, what they need. And I know Jackpot needs to eat in a second, so I'll give mine quick. I like the total. I know you said you don't like the under for the walk props. But what about under for total? Because I like the under 9 in the Yankees-Pirates game. Only laying 10 cents for it. The Yankees are so freaking good this season. They're 58-22. They won 6 of their last 8 games. They won 2 out of 3 this weekend against Cleveland. And New York pitching staff is a 2.90 ERA, 1.07 whip, 212 opponent batting average this season. The Yankees offense has scored an unbelievable 403 runs, 238 batting average, 321 on base percentage. They're so good. I just can't even deal with them. The Pirates, though, they've won 3 of their last 5. They're 32-47 on the season, which isn't great. Obviously, like, they don't really have that many guys. They're more like a young up-and-coming team. But they are coming off of a split series against the Brewers. And I just feel like their pitching is just okay. Like, they have a 4.73 ERA, 1.43 whip, 256 opponent batting average. But I look at the under. The under is 5-1 in New York's last 6 games. The under is 5-2 in the last 7 head-to-head meetings. The Yankees are the best team in baseball. Pirates are one of the bottom teams in baseball, but have one of their better pitchers pitching today in Jose Quintana. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in each of his last 3 starts for the Pirates. And then obviously Jameson Taillon for the Yankees has allowed 9 runs in his last 10.2 innings of work. I love the under here. Love it, love it, love it. And you're only laying 10 cents for it. Yankees, Pirates, under 9, baby. Lock it in. Let's go. That's
Love it.
Jared, missed ya. Got to be back with
Go catch your flight for crying out loud. The dog.
I know I have a flight in about an hour and 15 minutes, so we'll see if I make it.
You're gonna do it.
Hour 13. Go feed your dog.
We need you back in Atlanta. Get home.
I know. Have fun watching Novak, because we're keeping our fingers crossed that we just hit a plus money bet on him live in the show. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Best of luck tonight. Let's get it. Let's bet it. Thanks for tuning in.